Hey everybody, Jim Weinblood here from Mom's Best Friend Senior Care. Do you need to help your mom or dad, your grandma or grandpa, your senior aging loved one transition away from driving their own car? If that's you, I'm speaking to you today, and hopefully this just little video will help you with a few tips. I've done this with my grandfather. As many of you know, Mom's Best Friend Senior Care was inspired by our journey through the senior care of my grandfather. So we did that, and we learned so much, and it was incredible, and it really birthed Mom's Best Friend Senior Care. Okay, this issue has to be dealt with. The first thing is really be observant. Be observant and aware that the fault lines, the little things that are happening around you are speaking to you. So when your senior loved one has a minor fall or a minor accident or minor forgetfulness, all of these little minor things, as they sort of amplify or get to be a little bit bigger, you want to be observant, and you need to be talking to all the people in their life to sort of collect your evidence and your proofing out of like the scenario, because timing is everything. So you don't want to do this too early, you don't want to do this too late, for sure, because the risks are real and they're big. And so be observant, and as you gather sort of information and facts, then you can make a plan, and you can do this in the right time. And timing is critical. If you do this in the right time, a lot of it will take care of itself. If you get overzealous and go early, it's going to be tough. If you wait too late, maybe the worst case scenarios develop and you haven't addressed them. Okay, so a few tips for how to deal with it, the conversations and how to get through this. One is to come to the conversation with an attitude of respect and deference. You should always do that anyway with your elders and your parents and your grandparents, for sure, but definitely do that now, because sometimes we can get into parental mode. We end up parenting our grandparents and parents when they get older, and that's not good. So we don't want to come at it with this overbearing sort of attitude. We want to have a lot of respect, and we even, I think, a great tip is, to really, when you have to start the conversation, you want to ask permission to start the conversation. Ask permission to have this conversation, and be willing to let it sit, and you don't have to drive the conversation all through into conclusion all at one time. As a matter of fact, that's really my next piece of advice, which is to plant seeds. So have an initial conversation where you're just asking that permission to have the conversation, or you're just sort of suggesting that together you need to take up issues around safety and security, and just make sure everything's okay, and then just sort of walk this down the trail and come back to it. Give it a little bit of time, because what you're trying to do is your senior loved one needs to process. We all need to process, and this is all going to be hard for us to process. I know none of us think this is going to happen to us, but it is a reality for everybody at some point. You don't drive, and you shouldn't drive. So, but we need to process that, because that car equals freedom and liberty and control and all of these things that suddenly you're concerned and you're worried about losing. And so it can make us act weird. It could make your loved ones really reactive. So I want you to just listen, have a lot of empathy, and speak words of love and empathy and respect, and ask permission, and then don't give up. No matter what happens, keep coming back to it, because you do need to bring the issue to a head and address the brutal facts, and you'll be able to do that once this is processed a little bit. Then come back to it, and I think you will get the answer you need to get, and then you'll get ultimately an agreement that makes sense for you and your senior loved one. And that's what you really need here, is to manage the relationship, to manage the outcomes, to confront brutal facts together, in terms of what the risks and the liabilities and what could happen if we don't do this timely. And nobody wants that. And I know together you'll work through it. You'll have an even stronger relationship on the other side, and you'll also protect your loved one and protect others on the road. All right, so hopefully that helps you with this hard season of time, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks so much.